American space commentators say that with Donald Trump headed for the White House, we may see a moon colony before humans step foot on Mars. However, leaked footage suggests our natural satellite may have already been claimed, as YouTube clips appears to show hundreds of UFOs taking off from the lunar surface at once. The video claims to give a clear view of these spaceships going around and behind the lunar surface, which some think are stationed on the moon to protect it from humans, although it could be nothing more than an optical illusion. In an amazing video uploaded to YouTube on November 13th by Gerald Vigil, alleged UFOs can be seen leaving the moon. Mr. Enigma shared in the video. The clip is truly remarkable, as you can see the objects coming from the bottom left. It looks as though there could be hundreds of them, but the jury is still out on whether this is some kind of optical illusion. However, experts say that it is, in fact, little more than an optical illusion caused by digital glitches known as artifacts in the image. Photographer John Biondo posted, "UFOs are not what you're seeing. It is a phenomenon seen anytime you look at the moon's edge. I have lots of telescope time. You see this all the time. It's called chromatic aberration. You see it more when the lens is out of focus as well, such as in this video. This occurs when a lens is either unable to bring all wavelengths of color to the same focal plane, according to Photography Life. This can also happen when wavelengths of color are focused at different positions in the focal plane." And another viewer posted, "This is just an optical illusion. It happens when the air's humidity is high and the light from the moon gets distorted, or multiple light sources, bright objects in the distance on the Earth gets reflected. It looks as though there could be hundreds of them, but the jury is still out on whether this is some kind of optical illusion." The original clip is of last week's supermoon on November 14th, which occurs when the moon is full and reaches its closest point to the Earth simultaneously. Skygazers across the country got to see the biggest and brightest moon since 1948 Monday. The bigger moon showed 30% more light than usual onto the Earth and appeared up to 14% larger in diameter. Vigil's clip covers more than just the event. It appears to show hundreds of objects flying off the moon's surface at once. This bizarre sighting may finally confirm what many conspiracy theorists have believed to be true for years. Aliens live on the moon. It's been known by a lot of astronomers that if the edge of the moon is observed well enough, you will see fleets of UFOs in orbit move around the moon's horizon. Scott C. Waring shares in a recent blog post about the sighting. Many Apollo astronauts have stated that they saw UFOs near on and near the moon, so maybe these objects are a form of protection from the future Apollo missions to the moon. It may be owned by a species that's not so friendly about sharing. Waring suggests that these UFOs are there as a type of bodyguard for the moon, in that they are protecting it from humanity. These are not the first, and probably won't be the last, claims by conspiracy theorists that aliens inhabit the moon. In December 2015, a former NASA contractor came out saying that 3 flying saucers were spotted on the moon during NASA's lunar landings. In a video testimony, Donna Hare says the space agency covered up a series of UFO sightings that they caught and named Santa Claus. Hare claims she was told by numerous sources, which she does not name, about 3 UFOs that landed shortly after one of the moon landings. She does not specify when this took place. According to an article in Express, "I walked into a restricted area of the photo lab where they developed film from the moon and other satellite pictures." Hare recalls in the video, "A gentleman pointed my attention to one area of this mosaic. I believe they were satellite pictures, but I'm not sure." Hare describes seeing a round shadow at the correct angle with the sun shining on the trees in the picture. "What I knew he meant was it was a UFO, but he couldn't tell me," she explains. Not only is she accusing NASA of hiding UFOs from the public, she has also stated the agency has doctored and obscured thousands of photos. She went on record to state the agency erases anomalies from pictures before selling them to the public. During her time at NASA, she was employed as an illustrator and photographic slide technician and received many awards for her work. "I was amazed that they had a protocol in place for getting rid of UFOs in pictures," says Hare, referring to the airbrushing. "As a precaution, astronauts were debriefed, and I knew a man who was in the room with them. One of the men that was in a quarantine area with the astronauts who witnessed the 3 UFOs supposedly contacted her. This man was in quarantine with them and was part of their debriefing." She says, "He said a lot of them talked about their experience of these crafts following them. I believe there were 3 of them on the moon when they landed, and I believe that the code word for them was Santa Claus." She claims NASA threatened those who dared speak about the UFO sightings or airbrushed pictures. Giving one occurrence, she claims a man who was a security guard at NASA came to her in fear of his life. He said soldiers made him burn pictures, but he couldn't look at them. Hare explains. He looked at one picture and then shortly after he was hit in the head with the butt of a gun. Hare says she has told most of her friends and family, but has not received any backlash from officials. They didn't threaten to kill me, but I got the message I shouldn't talk about it, she explains. But I'd already talked about it so much it didn't really matter anymore. And like I said at the 1997 congressional briefings, I really started feeling like this topic was like sex. You know, everybody knew about it but nobody talked about it in mixed company. NASA has yet to respond to dailymail.com about the claims. Hare isn't the only one who claims they've seen pictures of UFOs while working at NASA. Sergeant Carl Wolf, who worked for the Director of Intelligence at Headquarters Tactical Air Command, claims he also saw photos being altered to omit anomalies on the moon's surface. Wolf went to an area in the Langley Air Force Base where he was given a reel of images to view. He claims he saw 35mm strips of film which were spliced together to make 18½ x 11-inch mosaics of the lunar surface for release to the general public. An officer told him that there was a moon base made by aliens on the dark side of the moon and it was their job to airbrush them out.